They callin' law. Fuck around and clap for running your jaw. If it ain't about the dollars, then it don't make sense. Got me sipping brown water, but it ain't from Flint. Trying to chase all this bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like a crypto crash. Stacking my coins, stacking my coins.
It's the rundown, everything you need to know. It's the rundown, everything you need for show. It's the rundown, and I ain't even capping on this. Crypto blood covering every topic on this. Welcome to the show, who didn't let me go? Breaking down the facts, there's more you need to know. Crypto politics and culture, always keep it real. Teaching you the truth, showing you how I feel. Staying forward with me, and I break it down with ease. Every single day, bringing expertise. Current events and trends, I analyze with care. Knowledge is the power that we all can share. Yeah, y'all, hit that like button. Share the stream, and join the team. And you already know what the fuck going on. Shout out to my nigga Crypto Block. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Okay. Ready? Right. Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it live. We're doing a special emergency. I'm doing a Tate Brothers type of situation today. Emergency stream. I got my cigar. I don't have my shirt off, but you know, it is what it is. Got my coffee, for sure. Hope everyone had a great holiday. All of you that celebrated Easter. I went to see my mama on, you know, black folk call it Resurrection Sunday. On Resurrection Sunday. I went to go see mama on Resurrection Sunday. Had a good time. Hope you guys, whether you celebrated or not, I hope you had a restful, great weekend. I know Lifer said, F this pagan religion shit. We ain't do no eggs, no bunny baskets, no none of that. That's right, man. Stand on business, man. That's what Christians need to start doing more of, man. Standing on business. Stop trying to integrate into society, in my opinion. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about or watching a live press conference that Trump is going to put on. Should be like in the next minute or so. I'll come over here. We should see. They should be. What do you guys think he's going to say today? What type of taco? You know, yesterday was probably the low of lows for Donald Trump. He was cussing at Iran, calling them bastards, dropping F-bombs. And then he sums it up with praise be to Allah on Easter. On Easter of all days, he decides to become Muslim. It's something seriously wrong with this guy, guys, and it is unfortunate that you know, I saw a tweet And maybe I can bring this up. Maybe I'll just wait because he should be coming out anytime soon. I saw a tweet about asking or posing the question, are Americans the most propagandized people or nation in the world? We up there. We are definitely up there, ladies and gentlemen. I can't say. You guys let me know what you think. What country is the most has the most propagandized citizens? U.S. is definitely up there. I don't know if it's number one though. It's some really extreme, like North Korea is pretty. They got them on lockdown up there, boys. They on perpetual closed internet. So they don't know what's going on up there. So I don't know. I think North Korea might be up there. Definitely higher than United States, but we up there. We up there. Plunge protection team working extra OT, baby. We'll take a look at the charts as well. I just want to get this I want to get this this conference out the way, and then we'll go into the charts. We'll take a look at Scalpalytics Pro over at bloodalytics.com. Link in the description below. You guys definitely need to sign up for that if you're active traders. But we're going to primarily focus on this conference and to see what Trump is talking about today, guys. That's what we need to focus on today. All right, so let me bring up the share screen so we can get some audio up in this piece. Let's see here. Hit the like button as you guys get in here. I got to get my background music going. There we go. Let's get a little background music going, a little elevator music. Let's see here. There we go. Show me some love in the chat room. Taco time, baby. It's taco time. You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. Show me some love in the chat room right now. Hit that like button. We're again going to cover the Trump conference, news conference, basically going over Iran negotiations. I've got some theories. I got some stuff that has been floating around since last night about what really happened with that rescue mission, and it was all really a ruse. It was not what you think. We'll go over that today as well. And of course, look at the charts, Bloodalytics. You know how we do, baby. We just want volatility. That's all we need. We just want volatility, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin dropping like hell already. Somebody must have said, hey, insider trading. Insider trading. Look at this. Let me bring me back up here. Insider trading. We went long this morning on Ethereum. Took some profits here, and here. Well, you can barely see on Ethereum. But look at that, just massive sell-off, because I think somebody knows something. Insider trading. This is the worst insider trading or best insider trading administration I've ever seen. They blatantly just inside trade. I don't even know what this guy's talking about right now. Should we listen into what he's talking about? I guess we could. Let's see. Are we all the way over to live? I want to make sure we're live. All right, we're live with that. Let's go ahead and listen to what he's talking about here. Let's see what he's talking about here. Oh, they ain't talking about nothing. Mike P says here, we're going to cover Trump's taco bar. Yeah, for sure. So while we wait, Might as well get back over here to the markets. Clearly some insider trading going on, because we have here, and I'll just do a split screen like this so we can keep our eyes on the prize. So we have here Bitcoin, Scalpalytics Pro. We had a nice trade this morning with Bitcoin. We flopped and groped a little bit. We got a new version coming out for Scalpalytics Pro V2 that's going to extend outward to include the UK. A lot of people were complaining, not a lot, but I had a decent amount of people saying with the new V2 version, it was only focused on the US. So we're going to extend that outward or backwards to include the London trading zone or time frame, and give you more signals instead of just that tight window of the US Eastern Standard New York time zone, right? So we'll be updating that in the next probably another week or so. I'll be rolling that one out, and that will probably be the primary one. And it'll give you more trades as well, so that's cool. But we had a crazy smackdown on the 1 minute. But I told you guys, hey, I saw this break last week. I said, hey, this is let me zoom this in for us so you can full screen this. I said this was that's a breakout, and sure enough, we stayed above it. We tested it on Sunday, touched the backside of that line, and then boom, we just took off right there. Boom, took off, and we now have a newer high. We took out the A. Guys, remember, I trade A's and V's. That's it. No oscillators, no fib extensions, no retracements, no nothing. Just A's and V's. You just draw your A's, draw your V's, and find your lines, your levels. Now, we are not and have not, and I think this is where we roll over. Shout out to Default, because he said we're going to $78,000 Bitcoin by April 11th. I highly doubt it. You know why I highly doubt it? I highly doubt it because this war, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw my video from yesterday. Go back and watch it. I broke down what exactly is about to happen. We're about to see COVID-style economic deflation. We're about to see a COVID-style slowdown in the American and global economy. It just takes time for it to move through the supply chain as far as the shortage of oil to show up, truly show up in the price of everyday goods and services. So this is the quiet before the storm. So this is your opportunity. If you bought down here at the trend line, you should have been taking profits all along the way anyway, but this is your opportunity to take some more profits, because guess what? I personally don't think we're going to see any real price action above Bart's head right here. I don't see us taking out Bart's head at all. All right, so let's tune in to Trump and see what he got to say here. Oh, you got Pete Racial Hegseth up there. They call him Kegseth. He drinks so much, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's hear what he got to say.
Be with you, and
make sure.
Happy Easter. We had a great Easter. This is one of our better Easters, I think, in a lot of different ways. I can say militarily, it's been one of the best. So, good afternoon. We have quite a bit to discuss. We'll go into pretty good detail. And we have the people that are most involved. We'll give you exactitude. And we're here today to celebrate the success of one of the largest, most complex, most harrowing combat searches. I guess you would call it a search and rescue mission ever attempted by the military.
Oh my God.
Generally, when planes are knocked down in war, especially when you're fighting a strong group, an evil group, you can't really do this because you send in 200 men to pick up one, and it's something that's usually not attempted as much as you want to attempt. And bad things happen to that one or two. And in this case, we did two, and it might not have been attempted before, but we did. And we had great talent, but we got a little luck too, I would say. And we were helped by a lot of people, a lot of great people. And it was an honor to be involved with it. It's very historic. This is a rescue that's very historic. It'll go down in the books. Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well, at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed alive. On Iranian soil, I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision, because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into...
By the way, I've got the crude oil chart on deck right now as Trump speaks, so that's what you'll see.
And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. We're the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green 2 helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within inside of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture.
Good point,
they want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper-type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space, and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout and he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher, and really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them
Just racking up.
all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge.
Racking
We wanted
up
to
the
have
debt.
them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas, so we were scattered it all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's amazing.
By the way, that's your taxpayer dollars, ladies and gentlemen. All that stuff he's talking about, your taxpayer dollars for a war you didn't pick. I didn't pick.
I was listening to these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Cain was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15.
Now, really quickly, look at Pete Hegseth. Look at his body language. Does that look like mission accomplished and successful? No, it does not at all.
Weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes that carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand, so that there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane. And then you also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down. And we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't.
More money down the drain. I've heard they wasted like 50 mil. Is it 50 million, 400 million on this rescue operation? I don't know. I can't remember. We'll look into the details after he gets done, ladies and gents.
Want anybody to have
Hit that like button.
Best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up. And we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the sand. We needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used, and couldn't have lived without them. They did, and they performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes.
Oh man, get the hell out!
And that was one of the more amazing things. These.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. You rebuilt a plane into the rotors.
The helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them.
Oh my
And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle, and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. The sand this was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine, right in the middle? This was central. This was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there.
God,
everybody got aboard and just got
this guy said
15-minute intervals.
3 planes
one load
in 10
out,
minutes.
One load out. One load out. It happened. And we were watching and we said, that's amazing. It's, in many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that, if we would have had a runway or decent soil, but it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them and the talent. The genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. If you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly. And within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group. Incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely. We're going to bring our people home safely. I want to thank every member of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it. Not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us, I tell you. Well,
no, God wasn't watching us.
We were in the Easter territory, I guess, but God was watching us. Amazing. Because when you look at the machinery, they took damage.
But Trump, you said praise be to Allah on Easter. you forgot? You didn't even go to church yesterday, Trump. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? This guy Trump was at the golf course during Easter, y'all. Oh my God, man! Back to the.
Tells you, first thing I said is these are unbelievable machines. How they flew back and not even much of a problem. But these 2 extraordinary rescues, because it was 2, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. And then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do. Because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say. And that doesn't last long. And I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in. Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft downed by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. You know, eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky too, because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we say, come on, let's go, get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand. And
Exactly,
it explains a lot.
peacemakers. I'm going to talk about this.
We're waiting, and we're
after he
saying, I
gets
hope that
done.
one can land and take off. And they came in like magic. Boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. I'm so impressed by that. Because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane. But they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to do. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go, blah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had
Get
come
to the
right after
point,
each other. They didn't
Trump.
have
Are
any
we
room.
going
There was
in or
barely
not?
anyone to
We
land.
want to know.
Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand. So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me, and many others that worked. I mean, so many. Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of
Central
the
casting. Yeah, you got a
John
whole bunch
Ratcliffe,
of actors out there.
he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it. But the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. The general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk, it might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that.
Look at
So,
the
John,
body
you wanna say a
language of
few words?
everyone
Thank you.
around him.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership
about this.
and resolve of the President
I heard
who
about this.
ordered it.
Anything for clicks. Yep.
One thing
I
that
did
has
hear
been
about
clear to
that.
me in this role is that the flawless military operations that the Department of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that in the skies over Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. We witnessed it in Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines. Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the President put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down. As an agency, the CIA possesses unique capabilities that only the President can deploy. Some of these capabilities fall under covert action authorities. And because covert means exactly that, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything that you want to know. At the President's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the President to find our airman, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hegseth to the President, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the President asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear: get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This President is about results. And now, that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters, and all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful that this successful mission has given the American people a window into that as well. The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is informing a president who's not afraid to make the hardest decisions when the stakes are highest. And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle for nearly half a century. It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Oh shit, here we go.
Well, John,
the
thank you for
fuckery's about to start, ladies and gentlemen.
An ongoing partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors.
Let's see those hands go up, buddy.
Over this Easter weekend, the United
Sesame
States
Street
military
puppet.
has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In two extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable.
He literally thinks he's Denzel.
When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran, this was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operations. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? One downed airman, evading capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder,
this is like,
his first message was simple.
I can't believe
and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice.
Don't say he rose
Saturday,
again. Don't say he rose again.
And rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday.
Yo!
A pilot reborn.
I can't, bro. I really can't. I really can't. We cannot be serious right now. Love Amor. We cannot be serious right now. This country is done. Oh my God, bro. This is insane.
All home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost.
Oh my God.
We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of unmatched training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit. Our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask any Iranian soldier who dared attempt to get anywhere near that pilot before or during that mission. Death from above. Our troops turned a potential tragedy into a resounding demonstration of American resolve and capability. That's what excellence in uniform looks like. But make no mistake about it. None of this would have been possible without the courageous leadership and ironclad determination of President Donald J. Trump. From the moment our airmen went down, President Trump made it clear we will leave no one behind. The first mission, the first of two, was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night, because anybody that's worked for this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously. The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our SCIF, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 minutes and 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory. And that continues today, by the way. Per the president's direction, today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khomeini. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day. And to our adversaries watching from Tehran, let this be a clear message. The United States military will go anywhere, at any time, to protect our own and complete the mission. We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor, and under President Trump's leadership, we win. So God bless our troops, God bless President Trump, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A note before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings. We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the President said, around operational security. The Secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On Thursday, 2 April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central Command area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel recovery event for a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the direction of the Secretary and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans home safely. As the Secretary said, several hours later on the morning, after positively locating the front seater, call sign Dude 44 Alpha, and aware of an aggressive ongoing search by the enemy, a U.S. Central Command plan was approved by the Secretary and the President. Shortly thereafter, a U.S. Air Force Combat Search and Rescue Task Force, comprised of A-10 Warthogs in their Sandy role, and I'll describe what that is in a minute, HC-130 Combat King 2s, HH-60 Jolly Green 2 helicopters, and Air Force Special Warfare Airmen, a package comprised of combat rescue officers and pararescueman operators, audaciously penetrated enemy territory in broad daylight to find, fix, and recover Dude 44 Alpha from behind enemy lines. This was an incredibly dangerous mission, an incredibly dangerous undertaking, but a filled promise made to every American warfighter that you will not be left behind. We will always come find you, and we will always bring you home. Over the next hours, the Search and Rescue Task Force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media, the helicopters took gas off the C-130s and pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area. During this engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot continued to fight, continued the mission, and then upon exit, flew his aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy
Classic,
aircraft.
bro.
The
Classic.
pilot then made the decision to eject
Oh,
over
man.
friendly territory.
Where are the
and was
90s,
quickly
man? The
and
90s were
safely recovered
that was
and is
peak
doing fine.
America in the 90s, bro. It
After
got no
picking
better
up,
than the
Dude
90s.
44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green
So
fight
sad,
was
man.
engaged
I
by
miss those
every
days.
single person in Iran who had a small arms weapon. And one of the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does. Named after the flight call sign that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs. A Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward, and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for, and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered Friday afternoon. As I said, and the nation needs to know this, this was an incredibly brave and courageous mission, and a testament to the courage, skill, and tenacity of the joint force and our leaders. And especially a daylight option, having the guts to try, means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the backseater, as the President and the Secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseater's absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the President said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 44 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. Fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday, at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and at the approval of the Secretary and the President, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 44 Bravo. Again, this came to the President and the Secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 44 Bravo. Again, this force was protected by A-10 Warthogs using the Sandy call sign. And this force had one single mission: do everything they can to bring an American home. This meant having a plan, being prepared to execute that plan, and more importantly, being prepared for multiple simultaneous contingencies. And because of this force's professionalism, grit, and determination, fight off two enemies at the same time: the enemy searching for 44 Bravo and contingencies, which anyone who has done these types of missions knows we run into every single time. The force fought off both of those enemies incredibly well. During the period of darkness on Saturday, and as the Secretary said, into Easter Sunday and into the daylight, the force fought its way in and rescued Dude 44 Bravo. They were protected overhead by an air armada, including tactical drones, strike aircraft, and others. The force fought through multiple simultaneous contingencies, something no other nation, no other military can do, and safely returned Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, home, and all other Americans home as well. At midnight 12 local Eastern time, Easter Sunday, more than 50 hours after the start of this operation, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center declared Dude 44 Bravo, both the front and backseater, returned to friendly territory. The courage demonstrated by both the pilot and the weapons system officer while isolated and them invading the enemy cannot be overstated. Their grit and warfighting tenacity is a direct result of the absolute trust they have in our rescue forces, their training, and their will to survive and return. They always knew that we would be ordered to go get them, and they always knew that we would be coming to get them. These two operations reflect our nation's most sacred obligation to our military service members. We leave no one behind, bless you. It also perfectly captures the first truth of our special operations forces, that people are more important than hardware. That is the standard we live by, and the rescue forces that execute these missions operate under a clear motto: these things we do that others may live. Their actions were a direct embodiment of that commitment to others, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them today. As the Secretary said to our enemies, this operation serves as a clear reminder of the capability and will of America's joint force. The United States of America will recover our warfighters anywhere in the world, under any conditions, when we want to. We will always bring overwhelming skill and firepower. To every member of the joint force, our interagency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one of you, and thankful to our deployed forces and their families. And lastly, and most importantly, to Dude 44, welcome home. Job well done. Thank you.
Pretty amazing, pretty amazing. And these two gentlemen have been, from day one, they've been perfecto. You know, I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me by other much lesser generals. I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? And it's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told it would take 4 years. I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years? And he told me, sir, it won't. It'll take 4 weeks and you'll have time left over. And that's exactly what happened. So he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly. And now those same people that treated him unfairly, that fought against him, they called me up saying, what a great choice he was. They said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you? I'm telling you, people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine, sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, he was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. It wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. It was the head of a human being, I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically, and it's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country it has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Oh man, the
I
glazing,
have two quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told if you protest, you will be shot immediately.
Oh my God!
You saw what happened to the
Goodbye.
young wrestler.
Goodbye.
He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler at the top in the world, and he and his two friends were hung. And all they did was say
Hanged.
a little bit about
Trump
liberty. They
hanged,
wanted
not
liberty,
hung, hanged.
and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed.
No,
so, you know, when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, you know, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You know, we got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view was very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. You know, they want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to... And if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But
the plan is for
it's
Israel.
very unfair to say we don't. Because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news. But you can't. It's so bad for the people that are so pro. You just saw two great, and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, you know, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
Good question.
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes.
Oh, my God.
Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not...
That's what Israel told you. That's not what's happening,
please come back, come back, come back.
Thank God for the internet, boy, I tell you. Thank God for the internet.
All I can tell you is they want freedom.
That's all I can say.
They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh, my God, what's that? Oh, look over there. What's that? A woman shot right between the eyes.
What about the innocent Palestinian women that Israel shoots right between their eyes? To this day, they're still doing it in Gaza.
And then they said, oh, my God, who would do that? And they're incredible people, but they've lived so horribly. They've lived so horribly. You know, Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually. And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from around. They're incredible people, incredible energy, and very, very brilliant people. But when you're standing in a group and protesting and you have a woman, in the case of a woman, remember the Great Woman March, everybody was saying, oh, this is the end of the country.
Keep talking, Trump.
And then
keep pumping that Brent oil. Keep pumping it up.
Every single one was shot right between the eyes.
We're going to make money while you steal money.
Nobody even knew where they coming from. This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too.
Scalpalytics
they did that
Pro.
Recently. This was
Brent crude
snipers.
Oil. 1 minute
sitting
chart
on the top
available
of
right now.
Aiming and hitting women.
Bloodalytics.com.
And when they see people go down, and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, AOC +3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings.
Well, that's,
so I wonder
that's
their
their
what's going on.
prerogative. You can't
I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing,
No,
even if it jeopardizes,
don't.
because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave, I'm brave, we're all brave. But we're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you.
No, Trump, you're not brave. You dodged the
rifles.
You dodged the draft 3-4 times.
Between the eyes every single time. And you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here. You're out of there. I don't care who it is. Please.
Mark Meredith, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
How would I know that? Go ahead.
America's watching. No.
Good job.
Can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on board.
Somebody else within
No, there was military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important. If they weren't, I would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. This is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before. Half the people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible. Because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, but I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds. And hundreds of these people, that's pretty good. Is he central casting?
Central casting.
Hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed.
In
Forget about the
living
equipment, a lot of
color.
equipment. Nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed. So we had people that were within the military that said this is not wise. And I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that that you were thinking, there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying, maybe we abort this now and wait? I mean, given the resource, like the general said, it seemed like there was so much on the line here. You must have been thinking, this could have completely changed.
So the first one, which was in many ways as dangerous as the second, I guess it gets, because we're flying over daylight. We're the best at the world at night. We have goggles that nobody. We have goggles. I've tried them. They're unbelievable. I see better with the goggles at night than I see without them during daylight. I mean, daylight today, we have a beautiful day. You see just as well with goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have the best in the world. So it's much safer for us to do it at night, whereas other people, no other country has that capability. They don't have that particular piece of equipment like we do. But when I was told, flying and in daylight, I think we flew 7 hours over Iran, and that's a long time, over unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons. We took out their anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is great. We took out a lot, but they still have, you know, what hit this one was a handheld shoulder missile, heat-seeking missile. So it's not like, you know, they're totally whatever. And they have probably a little luck, because you got to get lucky. But they shot it, and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there.
Central casting is like, is basically saying it's a movie, bro. It's all fake. Every person is an actor in the movie, in the script. Central casting. That's what it is, bro. He's telling you. It's like, it's crazy, bro. I've heard him say that years ago in his first term. But I think he's losing his mind, and it's really showing now, bro. Like it was probably starting this onset of dementia was probably starting his first term. That's why he was so brass, but it wasn't as bad, right? It was still doable. He's fully lost it all, ladies and gentlemen. He's fully lost it all.
They were great. Their timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very dangerous mission. I understand. They didn't say it's a foolish mission. They said, you know, we're going to be sacrificing hundreds of people do this. This is, I mean, you have tankers that are flying over this area so that the flight was so long they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it was worth it. If you would have told me that we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially injured, I would have said that would be impossible. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I'll come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Given that you are now dealing, you say, with a more reasonable, less extreme leadership in Iran, what does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well,
What's your
positive.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not properly clothed.
That's a lie, bro.
And they execute
this is so
the women.
crazy.
Absolutely, they shoot them right on the street.
It's so crazy that he says these things because we have the internet now. We have people, like, the dissemination of information is so easily accessible. You just go watch years of, like, if you go to you can do even just before this war, right? Let's say before last year when we did the first little bombing and everything, when stuff started to kind of get critical over there. You have bloggers going to Iran all the time, going to Tehran all the time. Travel bloggers going there, showing people what's really going on. Women walking around without their, you know, being fully clothed and all. I mean, not fully clothed, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean. Not the head wrap and the Sunni Muslim looking type situations. He's lying, and we know this. I think he's stuck in the 1950s, even 1990s. We didn't have access to all this information like we do today. He still thinks that we don't know that this shit is not true. It's crazy.
No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially, they have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. We are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous, and we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had a, don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel, and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait, and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did, because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And it was a very short-term deal. You know, countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, you need, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street, and you give somebody a 5-year or a 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. Took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did, because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also. And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible, the Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, a big one, unlimited, legally. I terminated it without even much thought. It was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. So Soleimani, who he killed last in his first term, remember? The big bag Soleimani, right? This guy, I didn't know this. I'm just learning this. Soleimani, actually, we funded him in helping us fight ISIS. So he was an integral part of helping the US fight ISIS. Did a great job too. So it's like the US is basically that example of the fire, what do they say, the firefighters setting the fire, then going in and putting it out and rescuing everyone and wanting all the credit for it. We caused every single issue in the Middle East. We caused Every single one of them. There was no reason for the Middle East to hate us, just to hate us. It doesn't make any sense. They weren't screaming death to America for just absolutely no reason because they were so jealous of how free we were and all of that. No. We entered their country. And, I got friends and people like Army Piper. Army Piper reminds me of that racist uncle that black people got in their family, or granddad. They can't stand white folks. You gotta kind of understand and have empathy for them because hey, they had bad experiences with white folks back then. So I'll give you a pass for being racist. Hell, you watch them hang your brothers and your uncles and rape your sisters and your mothers. So it's really kind of hard for me to even come to you and say otherwise. So I can understand with people who have fought in Iran or Iraqi wars, and those that fought in Desert Storm, and seeing their brothers next to them be killed. You got the right, bro. You went over there, you fought. You can have whatever opinion you want. I'm gonna have empathy and understand that. But for everyone else, listen, they are not the bad guys, ladies and gentlemen. They are not the bad guys. Yes, they have some strict cultural differences. They hang gay people over there. They do XYZ. That's none of our fucking business. Let the people rise up and handle that. That's not our place to do that. We ain't doing that over in North Korea. I don't think they allow gays in North Korea. They execute people over there as well. Everything that Trump is saying that Iran is doing and they need to be eliminated, North Korea does. Worse, actually. But you know why we don't go after them? Because they have nuclear weapons. So this is going to not only will the U.S. fail at this, they're actually going to accelerate the total opposite outcome that they were looking for. Iran is going to get nuclear weapons now, if not already getting them ready. Iran is not now going to be the financial powerhouse in the Middle East. Israel is about to be possibly non-existent. So everything they set out to do, and this is why maybe they told them, listen, for 40 years, don't do it. Reconsider. Read some litter. Sure, on the subject. You sure? Fuck it. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, from bars I just dropped. You know what I'm saying? Little Andre 3 stacks on your boy. Boy, right there, boy. Boy, right there, boy.
He's never been replaced, And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. But you, as a president, to be a good president, I believe you have to have good instincts. And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking my question, Mr. President. Mr. President, last week you suggested that Europe should take the lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour ultimatum? And secondly, would a new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran and the US?
I can't talk about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that, but they'd like to do
Mr. President, thank you so much.
You've listed the goals. Excuse me.
Please, go ahead.
You've listed
Thank
the
you,
goals.
Mr. President.
Who are you with?
My name is Dia Kurd. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Ruda Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and be harmed. Do you still want them to stay away? Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away.
And then,
I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death. I mean, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away.
Oh my God! Close protection team.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the
Plunge protection team is active right now, ladies and gentlemen. Plunge protection team, they're active. They're slamming oil a little bit here, getting a little slam on the oil. Risk on assets going up. They're slamming silver. They're trying to slam gold. Plunge protection team active. Let's see how long they can hold on. Let's see how long they can do it.
question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times.
Are you failing?
Are you concerned?
Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amounts?
Yo, Trump said that like he was from L.A. Who you with? Where you from, cuz? Where you from, blood? Who you with? He asked everybody, hey, cuz, where you from, blood? That's funny, man. This guy's out of control.
I hope I don't have to do it. But
hey, blood,
again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran. We're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Oh
and
my
if you think
God,
it's okay
bro, this
for
is
people that are sick of mind,
I'm just like, yo, we got to go back. We got to hear that. I know, you come here for the entertainment, so I'm gonna give it to you.
I'd rather have them stay away because I think
we gotta listen to that one again, man.
And some difficulties. And I think death. I mean, to themselves.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Watch it.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times.
Are you failing? Are you concerned? Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators. And because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which
Johnny's
possibly
definitely
that will happen
set tripping
because we
right
had
now.
numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran. We're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are
where your
tough,
mama stay,
smart and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a standpoint, any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen. Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down or are you escalating? I can't tell you.
I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow. 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants.
Oh my God.
Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages. CNN fake news.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority.
Oh
because,
my God, bro.
See, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine. Drop them in the water.
You'll never open the strait.
And
It's
now you
over.
tell people that own
It's
ships
a wrap,
that cost
Donnie.
$1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You
It's
can
a
do
wrap.
that even
You
just
can't
by
open the
saying
strait.
we
They
put
got it
mines
on
in the
lock,
water.
bro. It's a new
So
day.
it's not like
You really
the rest.
fucked up,
We can
man.
knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats, and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none. Because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication.
That's effective communication,
all I want to
Trump.
see
What do
is
you...
I want to have a safe world, and you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone.
Good.
And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO, I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear. Never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning. When I spoke to UK of all, I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible, but 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry that's unbelievable, yeah.
Just to clarify.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said earlier today during the egg roll that you would like to take Iran's oil, but Americans want U.S. forces home.
Correct.
What's that trade-off?
If I had my
Does it
choice,
take too
if I had my
much
choice,
time?
yeah. Because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes.
This is not Venezuela. That's your problem.
Running Venezuela, very good people.
You made
I
a
mean, the
huge
relationship is good.
militarily
And we are a partner
huge
with
mistake
Venezuela.
thinking that you would do the
And
same
we've
thing in Iran.
taken
That's the problem.
Hundreds of millions of barrels, hundreds of millions. Over 100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined and out. And paid for that war many, many times over. Many times. You know, the old days, to the victim. Okay? You know that. To the winner belong the spoils. go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor, go the spoils. And we don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at the Second World War, we didn't have it with the Second World. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe
Look at
hundreds
Elmo.
of years.
He's waiting for you, Trump.
Now, with Venezuela,
with open
and
hands.
just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now, the people that are running it. If you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in their equivalent of the White House. They fired everybody.
No,
and you know what they had? They had
we
a
didn't
mess.
move
And
him.
you know
He's
what
still
happened?
down there.
ISIS formed. Those generals,
he's
those
in the
soldiers got together, the police got together, they all got together, they formed
range.
ISIS.
He's waiting for
Not gonna
Trump.
happen with us.
He's going to catch Trump
So,
before
Venezuela's
he catches us.
been an incredible situation. We
He's
went
going
in.
to catch Trump
We
before
were
he,
very
because Trump is
successful,
crashing
military
out,
power
homie.
like nobody's ever seen. The general, Venezuelan general, said I was on that site. I said I've never seen
King Chris, you couldn't
ferocity
say
like
it any
that.
better.
I've been doing this for 40 years. He said I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different. They were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically, when you see
that point, AI Grill, I'm going to explain why this can't be a forever war. I'm going to explain.
Right? And
it won't be a forever war. I'm going to explain.
They had their equipment. It was Russian.
Once
they had
Trump
Chinese
stopped
equipment.
talking,
It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came, and they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles. They hit him from every angle. He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for them. Their equipment didn't work. And there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button. Nothing happened. They pressed it again and again.
He used
Nothing
the
happened.
discombobulator.
And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any. He used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles. And it was over. They went inside. And remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said, get the hell out of here. Thousands. We didn't have thousands. We had like 200 people. So we have a great military. And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention, more so than normally. You're talking about 2 people. But this rescue captured the world's attention. But we did it in Venezuela. That was amazing. And now we have a very bad man in prison and going to trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people from jails into our country. Drug dealers, murderers, the worst people in the world were released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know, and we had a border czar who never went to the border and never once called our great Border Patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the Border Patrol. She never said, how we doing? I used to call the Border Patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them. Brandon, ask them all the time. How are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody is coming through our border. And nobody even tries because they know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. So maybe 1 or 2 more and we'll be done.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right?
How could
Why
you
shouldn't we? We're the winner.
see this?
We won. Okay? They are militarily defeated.
He said
The
we
only thing
won.
they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right?
Oh my
No,
God! Then
I
you
mean, we
haven't
have a
won
concept where
yet,
we'll
Trump.
charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
Mr. President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this war?
I do, because
And have you
God
sought
is
his direction?
good. Because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening.
Oh,
Everyone
my
says I don't
God,
enjoy this. I don't
man.
enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, "Oh boy, they're so tough." I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars. Nobody's ever done it.
But
the
you just
person
started
who won the Nobel Prize
It doesn't
came to
matter,
me and said,
Trump.
"You deserve the Nobel Prize."
It doesn't matter that
she announced that when they announced. They said, "Oh my God." Goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person. She said, "No, no, no. This is ridiculous."
Trump, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Trump ended other wars. It simply doesn't matter, because if you ended 8 other wars and you started World War III, the last war for the civilization of the world, of Earth, then it doesn't matter that you ended 8 other wars. You got to keep that same energy. You got to keep that going, homie. Come on now, Trump. I don't know why I'm trying to rationalize this guy. His mind is gone, guys. We already know
Nobel
that.
Prize. President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives. That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now. That makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way.
President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead. Dasha, go.
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting,
Yeah.
including power plants, bridges. You've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want to
or
tell you
hospitals
that.
you
I don't want
would
to
say
tell
is
you
off-
that. We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated.
That's a crime
by
war.
12 o'clock tomorrow night.
That's
where every power plant in Iran will be out of business,
Somebody
burning,
needs to stop this
exploding,
guy.
and never to be used
Somebody
again.
needs to
I mean,
stop this
complete
guy, man.
demolition
This is-
by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation.
Of course.
And you know what?
using
If that's the case, the
US
last thing we want to do is start with power
this
plants,
is-
which are among the most expensive
This
things,
is-
and
this
bridges.
is brutal, man.
You saw the bridge one.
Yeah, I'm
We
sure
were
you want to
very close
rebuild
to a
so
deal.
your buddies and pals
And then I
can make
got a
all the
call
money
from
rebuilding it.
Mr.
War criminal,
Butkoff,
bro. This is
Mr. Kushner and JD.
Americans,
saying,
man. We got to
"I
stand
think
up,
they're
man. We
breaking
got to
the
do
deal."
something, man.
I said,
I
tell
don't
them
know what
that's
it
okay.
is.
Don't worry about it.
This is out
But tell
of
them to look
control.
out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within
For sure, 10
minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was.
Listen, he broke international law by starting the war in the first place. It was an unprovoked war. It was an unprovoked war. So out the gate, we're starting with war crimes. It's insane, man. Absolutely insane.
Was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
You voiced your displeasure with NATO in the past. Is there a danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance, and then other powers within the alliance then getting the decision making when it comes to wars and nuclear weapons?
No, it's not a danger.
System has been compromised.
Look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just
voting
said,
Green
hey,
Party
won't
won't work.
Right?
Voting Independent won't work.
No, we will not help.
There needs to
I
be a
said,
total
right.
overhaul.
You don't want to help? Because I've always said
And
NATO's a
it
paper
won't happen
tiger.
through a vote.
See,
that's all. You
NATO's a
read
paper
between the
tiger.
lines.
Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them.
When we needed them,
obviously,
we didn't
because they
need them,
haven't
by
helped
the
at
way.
all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it.
I'll
And
tell
it's
you
not
when
just
America
NATO.
rises
You know
up,
who else
AI
didn't help
Griff,
us?
if
South
he ever
Korea
ends his
didn't help
damn
us.
rambling
You know who else
speech.
didn't help us?
Not even saying shit,
Australia
man.
didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said
so you
very
get
nice things
along
about
with
me. He used to
him,
call
who
Joe
has-
Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was
Exactly,
terrible.
yeah, I
But to
agree.
me, he
That's-
likes
that's-
Trump.
That's
And
exactly
you notice how
precisely
nice things are with
when
North
it
Korea? It's
all,
very nice.
and it's we're.
But we have 45,000
As I stated in my
people,
video yesterday,
soldiers
we're
in
15
harm's
days
way,
away from
and
that.
right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO, NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent, Qatar has been excellent, UAE has been excellent, Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use
He's contradicting
Patriots.
CENTCOM's
The pilot said,
report
what kind
that it
of
was
a
friendly
missiles coming
fire.
at us?
You hear this
Patriot.
shit?
Boom, they got out. Because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots. There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, no, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got... And you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us, and I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
We were were just hearing from President Trump as he was talking about the very latest when it comes to the war in Iran, speaking for more than an hour.
Brutal.
This is a live look right here
Brutal.
of the White House, as that live look inside the White House press briefing room
This is Trump.
going
this
to
is what
end.
Trump
And I
does
did want to just
at his press
recap, if you're
conferences
just
right
joining
here,
us
ladies and
at
gentlemen.
this hour right
I got a
here
live
on Live
feed
Now
coming
from
in
Fox,
right now,
we were
guys.
hearing
Hold on,
President
let me get it up. Let me get it up.
Before, my nigga. Vegas, huh, cuz? Well, do me a favor, cuz. Call your mama up, cuz.
What they call you, where you from, nigga?
Trump.
Looking at the legend I become, nigga. I can't help but
Number
feeling
one
like
question.
I am the one, nigga. What they call you, where you from, nigga? What they call you, where you from, nigga?
Trump gang banging.
From, nigga. I can't help but feeling like I am the one, nigga. One-way bus catching, blue line train riding west side with the young extras. These old rules came with no questions. Wrong to live by, but it's no exceptions.
Tell me where you from, nigga.
With loaded weapons. Code of ethics.
All right, so where do we start? Where do we start, man? I am so disappointed in America right now. I'm somewhat ashamed of how we're behaving on the world stage right now. War crimes daily. We just took out a university in Tehran, which is the equivalent to MIT here in the States. We blew them up. Just complete war crimes. It's blatant. As someone said earlier, international law is done. It is. We're entering a new era in global political posturing. We're seeing it. It really is a crazy time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen, because we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. Uncle Sam pulling out of Greenland. I don't know. Let me see, my earbud I think went out. Let me see something. So come on, blood, don't hold back. I'm about to get in a tan and say I'm Mexican to catch less hate. It's bad, bro. So let me I got a couple things, right? Someone mentioned that we're going to be a third world country. We're not going to be a third world, but what we're going to be is a second world country. And the second world countries will be the countries like what we consider now, and they're not even second world anymore, but the Western media and everything, still the propagandist machine in the West will consider Russia a second world country. But Poland, a lot of the, like Bulgaria, Albania, Hungary, Mozambique, I want to say like even some countries, some other countries in Africa are considered second world countries. That's where we're heading to. We won't get to third world. That's a little bit extreme. We do have a lot of natural resources. We have we have a lot of from a typology standpoint, we got two oceans on both sides. We won't go that far, but we will become a second world country. And the extent of it, or the speed at which that happens, depends on how Trump plays this out. It just really depends on how Trump plays this out, guys. Let me get back to my screen because I want to show you guys some stuff that's going on. Let me bring this back up. Let's look at the markets really quickly. Hit that like button, ladies and gents. I appreciate it. Everyone tuning in today. Let's get our music back going. But it's I don't know if you guys heard from this speech. So this is what I've been hearing. regarding this whole situation with the downed F-15E. They were really trying to extract the uranium, and the mission failed. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing, ladies and gents. It was a failed mission to extract their uranium. So if you recall, they initially said that the F-15 went down near the southern part of Iran. But then all of a sudden, like a GPS glitch, the dot moved. The dot moved from where 100, almost 200 miles north, 150 miles north. Now that's where the pilot was, you know, the second pilot, the WSO pilot, was climbing up the mountain in a heroic movie-like central casting, like Trump likes to say, event. No, it was never down there in the southern part of Iran. It was always near Isfahan, or whatever it's called, that the area where they have a nuclear plant and where they were trying to make this operation happen, and it failed. So that's what I'm hearing is really going on. That's what I'm hearing is what really happened, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto Princess, thank you for tuning in. We'll definitely get you on. My YouTube members, you guys can jump on if you would like to talk and spit your 2 satoshis on this situation. We just watched Trump get done with his conference. I think once he ended, plunge protection team started to come in a little bit, try to bid the markets up. Oil got slammed. This is on a 1 minute, so it's not really, you know, too much of a crazy move down. But what's interesting that happened over the weekend, guys, on Sunday when oil opened, you know what's something that happened that was like, gave me one of those? WTI flipped Brent. WTI is the oil price that's closest to the US. Well, it's in the US, right? That's the West Texas Instrument oil price. That flipped Brent. If you recall, there was about a 10% delta between Brent and West Texas Instrument. Brent was about 10% and has been almost this whole war. But something interesting happened, and this goes to my theory, and this is what I talked about in yesterday's video. Go watch it if you missed it. Great video where I break down what's about to happen in the next 10 to 15 days here in America. And it started with this: oil flipping Brent, because it's now coming home to roost. It's coming home to roost. We're going to see exorbitantly high gas prices in the next 10 to 15 days, I believe. There is no, and of course the only way out of this is to stop this war. But we're so entrenched into this war, we're so far gone, Israel's got us so much by the balls, there is no turning back at this point. And there's no, militarily and even politically, there's no reason for Iran to give in to any of Israel's demands, because they are holding the cards. They have the upper hand. Now, there are a couple of highlights, a couple points that I wanted to get out the way from earlier in the stream, some comments. Is it true that Iran uses USDT on the Tron network? I heard these rumors as well. I did hear these rumors as well. Now, the problem with this is that USDT is, they're able to blacklist any blockchain that uses USDT. They have the smart contracts they deploy on those blockchains, meaning Tether, right? The company Tether. If they deploy a USDT contract on an exchange, they have to be able to control or they do control. It's not that they have to. They do control being able to blacklist or whitelist addresses. So this is not a. This would not have been a long-term strategy, and this is why they pivoted towards settling oil in yuan, gold, and other currencies other than the rupee. India just did an exchange, bought oil from Iran, settling in using rupee exchange for yuan. It was a yuan rupee swap. So that's going to be more so the direction they go, because it circumvents the SWIFT network, which the U.S. controls and can ban or you know, shut down and seize certain bank accounts that operate in the SWIFT network. This is the end of the petrodollar. We're literally seeing it in front of our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Pound also said back earlier, Iran is using any crypto. They don't care what crypto they accept as long as its liquidity is deep. Fairly true. But again, I think crypto won't be needed now because they're using non-SWIFT rails now to settle their oil, which is, this is big, man. This is big. Griff said earlier, this is a war we will never win. We won't ever win it, and we will have to end it very soon. We've spent $50 billion. I'm gonna say that again, $50 billion in 5 weeks, ladies. That's $10 billion a week. Unsustainable. And you know, the further you go into something, the cost just goes up and up and up. It's not sustainable. We won't be able to do it, guys. We won't be able to do it. 10 billion a week. Did you vote for him? Crypto Princess asked. Yes, I did vote for him. I supported him 3 times financially. Voted for him in the last one. So this is not a TDS stream. This is not a Trump deranged syndrome. It's not a person that hated Trump from the beginning and all that. No, we're seeing a complete 180 occur with Trump, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm seeing people like Alex Jones. I respect the people that call it a spade a spade. I respect the people that, if things change, conditions change, your opinions change. Those are the people you need to listen to. I was a staunch supporter of Trump. It hurt my not necessarily business, but it hurt my YouTube channel when I was a huge supporter of him in 2017, 18. That's when they started shadow banning my YouTube channel, and really stopped growing since then. Because he was spitting some real stuff. I thought, I'm like, this can't, too good to be true. And that's exactly what, too good to be true. Too good to be fucking true. I got a lot of comments coming in here, so bear with me. We'll get to all these comments one by one. Let's get this. AI Griff said, "Oh, Americans will rise up." I think you mentioned, yeah, we will rise up in about 10 to 15 days. Well, the prices are going to hit in 10 to 15 days. From there, it may take a couple of weeks, a month or so before people get fed up. Crypto Princess is spot on. Listen. Everything that Trump says, again, you got to take you got to go 1 over Trump. That's the algebra that we're using over here on Crypto Blood channel. It's 1 over Trump. Everything he says is the opposite. There's no way that Putin is scared of or afraid of Trump. If he was afraid of Trump, he wouldn't be literally assisting Iran with technology, surveillance, munitions, even possibly. He's not scared of Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe that. Do not believe that at all. Congress been mute this entire war. Exactly. And then that really we're missing. John Hill brings up a good point. We're really missing the real elephant in the room. And you know, now I have to finally agree with the Rices of the world, Rice TV, Chris Rice, one bird, two wings. This is what he always used to say. And I think when he was saying it, he was wrong. Trump had not done a complete 180 at that point. I think, personally, I'm going to tell you what I think is happening. The way he's 180 in such a short period of time, does dementia play a part in this? Does his mental health play a part in this? Sure. But the way Trump has completely 180'd, I believe there's some type of MK Ultra, I call it Mossad K Ultra program that has been run on the president and possibly his executive executive branch. The 180 is too extreme. It's too extreme. Don't forget about Cuba. Don't forget about Cuba. Another example. I'm glad you brought up Greenland and it made me think about Cuba. Cuba, another reason why Russia is not scared of Trump at all. Like, actually, they're slapping Trump in the face. Russia sent 2 oil tankers to Cuba, and we did nothing about it, ladies and gentlemen. They said, I wish a nigga would. They did a wish a nigga would on Trump. They're not scared of Trump, ladies and gents. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're not scared of Trump. Dr. Gray said, man, I was there at the Marathon store when Nip got killed. Shit was wild. Oh, man. R.I.P. Nip. Ain't no hope for black people, by the way. Black people are completely done. If you think, if the white folks getting jugged here in America, where the hell you think black folks, we done. We killing ourselves. So we, you know, definitely not looking good for black folks. John Hill said, I knew this administration would be bad and there's been no disappointment in my expectations. Well, you were better than me, my friend. I was completely fooled. I don't think I was fooled. I think he actually got MK Ultra. There are no rules in war. Ask anyone from Germany, the Balkans, etc. USSR. Yeah. Now, I got a couple of tweets I want to go over, man, before we wrap up. We've been streaming for 2 hours. Thank you guys for tuning in. Can't believe we've been streaming for this long. I'm going to buy a bunch of humanoid droids as security detail. These fools tripping. I agree. What's NATO status? You think the U.S. will pull out of it? It will be nothing to pull out of. Pause. NATO won't even exist here soon. NATO was done. NATO was an extension, an apparatus of the U.S. military-industrial complex in Europe. So that's done. Ain't nothing to pull out of. They're just completely done. Okay, NATO was done. So that's, again, all of this, all these little pieces that you're seeing happen, Strait of Hormuz being overtaken by Iran, settlement of oil in yuan, NATO dismantling. These are all the pieces that held the petrodollar together. We're seeing it just crumble in front of our faces. What a time to be alive. You ain't lying, Donald Muhammad. NATO doesn't want to get involved. They have a lot to lose. No, NATO is done. NATO will no longer exist. NATO will minus the U.S. will align with China, Russia. Yeah, but you got to understand why NATO is done, John Hill, is because not all the EU countries will align with it. So it's going to be a fracture. It's going to be factions within the EU. Not all will align with Russia and China. Only some of the countries will. The others will kind of click up with themselves and try to band together and create some new military, unity. Absolutely. We're second world. For sure. We're definitely second world already. Good point, Crypto Princess. Good point. Good point. It's a possibility, but we'll see. Thank you, Crypto Princess, for tuning in. David Rumbelow, thank you, my friend. Bills are here. Bills here are rough, and it's the ones you can't control that cost so much. The ones that are controlled by monopolies, right? Exactly. My house payment went up from $540 to $720 from insurance and taxes. Yep. Everybody's housing insurance is going up for sure. Israel got all the alien interdimensional beings in their alien tech, I believe. How else could they control Uncle Sam so hard? This is the path I'm going down, peacemakers. It has to be something fourth dimension, or something that is greater than what we can see, as to why this little country of 9 million people, and it's even a smaller segment of those individuals, probably like 1,000 people, how 1,000 people in a country of 1 million can control the entire Western Hemisphere. They have to have something diabolical. Oh, you ain't getting shit, my friend. You ain't getting, black folks ain't getting shit. Like I said, if our counterparts, our white brothers, about to get shafted and drafted, if our white bros about to get shafted and drafted, bro, what you think? We ain't getting shit. We are getting nada. As the Islanders would say, you get nothing. You get nothing. Cuba about to bust a forget about Drake. Hit that like button, ladies and gents. We turning up today. Anyone with the conspiracy that Israel and Little Hats are set out to defeat America? Yeah, man, for sure. I keep seeing Iran has rejected the ceasefire. I think Trump will put in ground troops. Shit going to get real wild. Oil to $200. Tell us, my guy, My Crypto Spaces over in the UK. Tell us what's going on the ground over there, bro. Tell us what the situation is in the UK right now. Oh yeah, we got to talk about that's the major thing, right? That's probably what's driving a lot of decision making actually in the executive branch is that 10-year, right? That's the most important thing. We got to keep the cost of our debt to service our debt low. We got to keep that low. Now, what is interesting is most of our debt is actually floated in, and we see the 10-year. Oh, that's UK 10-year. Wow, 10-year came down pretty strong. Plunge protection team is hard at work, ladies and gentlemen. Hard at work, right? The 27th was the peak. Was at 43. Maybe I'm thinking about the 30-year. Yeah, I'm thinking about the 30-year. 30 years is our long-term end, or long end of the curve. But we got to really worry about the short end of the curve, because most of our debt is being rolled over in the short end. Most of our debt is held at the short end of the curve. Ironically enough. If there's a draft, I hope females get the equality they always wanted. Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of females, great segue, AI Griff. I knew you were an AI agent. Speaking of females, guess what we got, guys? Word on the street. Word on the street. This is who Iran caught. They got her ID. Amanda Ryder. This has been floating around. ID of U.S. Air Force's Amanda Ryder recovered from aircraft wreckage after pilot rescue mission in Iran. So here's the thing. Also an Israeli visa found. Look at this shit, man. We're just completely married to get, like, it's one state. What the fuck, man? So here's the thing, like, how would their ID and card and everything be present on ground without the body being present? Like, it doesn't make sense that all of her belongings just fell out of her, on her person, just fell out and everything. Clearly something is going on here. And there's a video floating around with this as well. So these are the alleged aircrafts that we blew up ourselves to destroy any equipment and other things that were on there as we left. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. While Trump was talking, U.S. MQ-9 drones destroyed over in Iran again. Again, this is another one. Death of the dollar. Russia announces that all future oil and gas deals with Europe will be priced in what? Who? Mike Jones? No, Chinese yuan. Wu said, I just came from Vegas. It was packed full of everyday poor people on vacation enjoying themselves. How the fuck are we second world? I'm gonna tell you how, Wu. Because it hasn't hit yet as far as this next leg down. It doesn't happen overnight. People are on credit. They're going to Vegas on credit. They just got their tax refunds. This is not wealth, bro. It's an illusion. These people don't have any money. Trump will say RT is fake news. They are just making up lies. Of course they will. So do you think they're putting troops on the ground tomorrow? that's a good question, bro, because I'm gonna be honest with you. In my video yesterday, if you recall, and maybe I'll have to try to find this, but you know, he lies so much, Trump lies so much, or confabulates. That's really what he's doing. He's confabulating. He confabulates so much that he forgets and wants us to forget what he initially said. So let's see, Truth. I don't know if I have to be logged in. Truth Social. Maybe he deleted it. I don't know. But let's see what we got here on Donald Trump. Let's see if we got what he said on Friday, because I'm pretty damn sure on Friday he put out a message here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I gotta scroll. This guy be on Truth Social more than being the president, boy, I tell you. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. We're about 2 hours into this stream. We've been streaming. We watched the press conference Trump did at the White House at 1 o'clock. Pure entertainment. So 3 days ago, let's see. Nope, that's not it. I hope it doesn't take me. Oh shit, let me see. I'm trying to find it, guys, because he said something on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Still looking for it. Still looking for it. That was when he fired Pam Bondi. I could have swore maybe he took it down. But I could have sworn Friday he put out a Truth Social saying that in 48 hours they're going to have to come to a deal. Anybody else see that? Anybody else see that? Or remember that? I could have sworn Trump, y'all help me out. Let me know in the chat room. Did Trump on Friday say Iran had 48 hours? That would have put us at Sunday, 8 p.m. At the latest, if it was Saturday he said it, that would put us at Monday, tonight, 8 p.m. But now he's saying Tuesday, 8 p.m. Unless this is some type of Mandela effect. I'm pretty sure I remember him saying 48 hours either on Friday or Saturday. Either way, that puts us at Sunday or Monday today at 8 p.m. But now we're hearing Tuesday at 8 p.m. Thank you. I knew it. I knew it. Mike said he definitely did. I knew it, bro. But you see how like everybody in the media and everything like forgets it. You know why? It's a strategy that they use in Nazi Germany. You tell so many lies and pile up so much falsehood that people get disoriented. They don't know up from down. They don't know left from right. And you get to change the narrative as you please. No, that was last week. That was a different one. I believe he said this Friday. I could be wrong, but I believe this Friday he said 48 hours. Or Saturday. Every single alt is a major accumulation zone. It makes sense to me, honestly, with the markets. Yes, he did. He gave the ultimatum last Friday, U.S. time. He pulled it back, though. Perhaps that's the reason he said today that he gave them another 24. I'm so thoroughly confused, bro. Uncle Donnie, if you read Art of the Deal, talks about the strategy. Also take into account we are in the year of the horse. Good point. It was Sunday, then Monday, for sure, because it was bent. I was bent and didn't get paid till Tuesday afternoon. Okay. It's all kind of makes sense. Explosion, possibly Q3. I wanted to trade it for sure. Q4, yeah. He said Tuesday on Truth Social. I saved the post. This coming Tuesday. Oh man, I'm so discombobulated by all the lies. Maybe I missed that one. Maybe I'm mixing some stuff up. Because I could have swore here it is. Here it is right here. It says, remember, I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal or open it up Strait of Hormuz. Time is running out. 40 hours before all hell rains down on them. Okay? That's the one I was talking about, guys. That's the one I was talking about. April 4th. Okay? April 4th. You guys see that? April 4th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today, this morning would have been 48 hours. So now he's extended it another day. I would agree with this strategy and that he's still using this. He was using this in his first term, but I think he's got a cognitive decline, and I don't think he's art of dealing anymore. I don't think it's art of dealing anymore. I think he's gone, bro. I would have agreed with you, and I understand that strategy, and he was using it pretty, you know, extensively in his first term. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Mike. Exactly. Exactly, Donald. Exactly. Yeah, he keeps lying, bro. But the markets keep believing it. Markets, for whatever reason, keep believing it. Markets keep believing it. Or, in my theory, markets don't believe it, but they use Trump's rhetoric as a guise to implement PPT. That's really what's going on. And if you guys don't know what PPT is, let me bring it up for you. Those that don't know, I've been using this word a lot lately. It's a real thing. It's not a conspiracy. At this point, we could just go ahead and say all conspiracies are real at this point. They've lied to us so much, ladies and gentlemen. that all conspiracies are just pretty much all reality at this point. Plunge Protection Team is an informal nickname for the Working Group on Financial Markets, created in 1988 by President Reagan following a 1987 market crash to bolster market confidence and stability. Comprised of U.S. top officials, it acts during market crisis to prevent panic selling, often by promoting communication between regulators and Wall Street and other things. Now, I mean, we've gone so far from past that now. Here are the key members. You got the Treasury Secretary. That's Bessent. You've got all heads of the Federal Reserve. You've got Security and Exchange Commission, which is probably allowing all of this insider trading to go on. And of course, you got the CFTC. That group. And I think banks are, some of the heads of banks like JP Morgan, B of A, Monahan over there, you got Jamie Dimon. They're probably involved as well, without a shadow of a doubt. But this is a real thing. We call it the Plunge Protection Team, but it's called the Working Group on Financial Markets. No, not PBT the token. R.I.P. Nico and his brother, Nico Williams. R.I.P. Where y'all at? Where the Nico brother? Where the Nico brothers at? He said in this long talk, it was too close to Easter. Gotcha. Whatever happened to PPT? Took the money, bro. Took the money. I was right the whole time. But see, this is what happens, man, when you're right and people don't want you to be right because they got money on the line. They start to hate you. They start to troll you, or not troll you, but just, throw ad hominems at you and so on and so forth. And then when you end up being right, you never see them come back and say, man, I'm sorry, blood. You were right. I should have listened to you. They actually double down on the people and information they have, and they just continue listening to the nonsense fuckery from people that led them into that, down that alley. Hey, all respects to Cliff High, but Cliff High. So they pulled a Steve Miller move, took the money and ran. Yes, sir, they sure did. BlackRock stopped folks from selling or trading the other day. How's that even possible? Freezing folks like Robinhood during COVID. Yep, it's crazy, bro. The markets are rigged. This is no longer. So when people have their retirement money in these markets, they're no longer real markets. They're not pricing. So real markets, let me just explain something. Real markets price real risk. We are no longer in a market that properly allows for real risk to be priced. So what you're seeing is a stock market at, we got a stock market at near all-time highs. Dow Jones at $46,000. That's near all-time high. We hit 50,000. It's all-time high. Right? 50,000. 50 and a half. All-time high. We're right there near all-time high. You got a Dow Jones at all-time high. You got a S&P at all-time high. You got a NASDAQ at all-time high. And it is not the real price, if markets were not rigged, would be half this amount. So you don't even realize that you're really, if you don't sell now, if you don't take profits, You don't realize that you really are like half to even 60 to 70% lower in the value of all the stocks across the board. Yeah, Bitcoin scam, all this stuff, bro. The old ICO scams, those were the days. They sure were. I forgot what PPT was doing, business memos or something. They were doing what do you call that? Invoice factoring. Remember? John Hill, invoice factoring. And I got so much flack from the Cliff High community, bro. So much flack. They hated me. Ben is an asshole. Ben has mental illnesses, bro. It's not necessarily asshole. He literally has mental illnesses, which express and makes it seem like, you know, I mean, it makes him an asshole. It does make him an asshole, but it's mental illness. Bro, Centra. I flew out. I was in the documentary. You didn't see me much, but I filmed a lot of footage for that Centra Netflix documentary. You'll see me if you watch. Go back and watch it. You'll see literally they didn't use me. They took me out, bro. I flew out to them twice, bro. I flew out to Brooklyn to film for a whole day. I flew out to LA another few months later. Filmed the whole day, and they literally used me at the intro where they're panning, they're zooming in over a person into the screen. That's me. You don't even see me. I think they got a tap. They got a tap from the small hats. Said, don't you put Crypto Blood in that damn Netflix. He's already in one. We don't need his military mind. He's the next Tupac or something. He's too radical. Don't do it. Don't let him get any more coverage. Don't let him get any more coverage. He's got that Tupac tattoo on his stomach. Don't let him do it. Did you see Claude AI put out its code? Yeah. Last update, it's got crazy stuff in it. Source code leak. Yep, I saw that. It's crazy. Uh-oh, we got a breaking news here. Iran has issued a stern warning to the U.S. and Israel, stating that if tensions continue, the entire region will turn into hell for them. Yeah, I saw that earlier, bro. Mental illness and drugs. Rip Silver Goldman. Oh my God, bro. Is he still alive? Oh man. Silver Goldman. People got on me about Hex too. People got on me about XRP. J-Man, for sure, my guy. Let me show y'all something. You think I'm capping? Let me go to my Let me go to my email real quick. Let me see. Let me go back further. I gotta go way back in time. I spelled it wrong. I think it's that. There we go. 2024. Let me see. Yo, here's all the stuff here, bro. I just gotta make sure I don't dox no one. I don't want to dox people, so I don't know if I can really show this stuff. Maybe I can do this. Strike through. Redact. There we go. Okay, we got a redact. I can do a redact. Alright, we got a redact. I didn't know this was able to do a redact. Let's do it. I'm redacting some stuff right now. Give me 1 second. I'm redacting. I'm just redacting some shit right now. Redact. I'm looking like, hey, this is looking like the Epstein files up in this. I'm redacting a whole bunch of shit, boy. Let's see. Redact. Dang, man. I had to. Oh, man, I remember all this stuff. I won't go that far down. I'll just show you kind of some of the other stuff. But this is the thread that, let me see here. Let me just redact this really quickly. Hit that like button, ladies and gents. Appreciate each and every one of you. I just remember, I'm just going through these emails remembering, because I didn't take the jab. I literally had to get, I had to literally get a PCR test every day I was on site, because I didn't get the jab, ladies and gentlemen. And I said, listen, bro, I won't be in the show. I won't be on your video, on your documentary, if I got to get jabbed. So this is like all the stuff I was doing, man. I had to sign release documents, TSA pre-check stuff for the flight. I had to take PCR. Can you get a PCR COVID test on Sunday? Are you COVID vaccinated? If so, and I was like, hey, it's a no-go for me. I'm not COVID vaxxed. Ain't happening, homie. So yeah, like, I went with them through a whole year, actually. It was a whole year process with them, going back and forth. Start lying to your closest friends and soon you don't have any friends. That's true. Seeing you on one documentary on Netflix. Yeah. No, that was a different one. That was a different documentary. That wasn't even the one for the Centra thing. And military mind mean money. You know, we trade in war stories. There you go, baby. Rest in peace, Tupac, man. Hex was an easy scam to spot. I don't know. It was a clever one. Wow, Crypto Space, you going back, bro. Man, Blitz, Media, man. I remember he just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know if he's even alive anymore. We had a YouTube channel together and everything. My Crypto Space, do you remember the YouTube channel name? Was it called Block Party? I think it was called Block Party, right? Block Party. Crypto Blood. Truth Blitz. My guy, Truth Blitz. Damn, bro. Block Party Podcast. And guess who we had on? We used to have some heavy hitters on back then, boy. We used to have some heavy hitters. We had some heavy hitters back then, man. Oh, Big Weir. Big still talking the same shit, huh? Truth Blitz. I had there's Nico Williams. John Hill, there's Nico. Who else we have on here? People probably don't remember Ozzy the BS filter. I've had SGT Report on. Sean from SGT. He's still kicking it. He's going crazy on Twitter right now. I need to get him back on. Sean from SGT. Jim Willie, my guy. Jim got me a strike on my channel, and ever since then, he ain't been back on. Jim will go off, man. Who else we have? X22 Report. Oh, man. Dave from X22. I haven't seen Dave in a while. Does he still does? I think Dave is off of YouTube. They kicked him off. I want to say that I want to say the SGT Report is off of YouTube as well. See, the real ones get like the real ones that really talk the shit, man. There's not like some type of psyop. They get buried. Silvertooth, shout out to Silvertooth. What is Silvertooth doing nowadays, man? I've had Greg Manarino on a couple times. So yeah, man, that was, I don't know what happened to Truth Blitz. That was my guy. Richard Hart scammed with his Gucci. Yeah, bro, when he came out with all Gucci on, bro, that's when you knew it was over. Oh my God, X22. Damn, that's some yeah, AI Griff, man. I've been around, bro. I've been around. I know a lot of people, bro. That's what I be trying to tell y'all. I don't be just talking out the side of my mouth when it comes to a lot of this stuff, man. I know more people than even I, say on camera. And I get a lot of info because I deal with a lot of people. I was there for all of it. Brings back memories. Yes, you have been, Donald. Yes, you have been. Yes, you have been. You sure have been, bro. Appreciate. Hey, Donald Muhammad. He gets on my nerves sometimes, but you know what? I've never blocked him. I've never, he gets on me about stuff. That's good. You need that type of stuff around. You can't have a circle jerk, an echo chamber of ideas. You gotta have people that challenges you, that disagrees with you, and I'm all for that. I've always been all for that. It might be a Detroit thing. I don't know. We don't care about confrontation or disagreements. We've never been that type of people. So it is what it is. Bloodalytics.com. Sign up. We'll get back to actual trading tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There are a lot of channels are back untouched. SGT is up, but I don't think Sean knows. Oh wow. X22 is back too. Wow. They won't be for long. Cause here's the problem, bro. And I should have known this. Trump was so right in how the media treated him in 2016, his first term. Biden's term, how they suppressed all right wing. They went very extreme with it, right? But the problem is, it's very hard for an individual, Trump meaning, it's very hard for a Trump-like individual to see what happened to him during Biden administration and then turn around and not do the same thing to the opposers while he's in office. It 9 times on never happens. So that's the danger of extreme suppression of freedom of speech, censorship. Once that cat is out the bag, you really can never put it back in, because the next crew that gets in that was done that way are going to do the same thing to the individuals that did it to them. And so the cycle just continues, and it just gets worse and worse, and we spiral out of control. Remember when that caller trolled Rice? Bro, hilarious. Who was that person? I forgot his name. Trolled the hell out of Rice. U.S. and Israeli Air Forces struck an Iranian munitions facility near Bushehr, southwestern Iran. The strike landed dangerously close to Iran's Bushehr nuclear. So that happened the other day, bro. They keep hitting. This is the 4th time they hit the Bushehr nuclear power plant. They took out a vital facility or something there. And, you know, most likely is Israel. They are kamikaze. They will take the whole region down. They rather the whole region be in nuclear fallout than to have Iran prosper and expand its reach in the Middle East. So that's why I'm telling you guys, we are nowhere near wrapping up this war, and we're gonna get a negotiation deal and all that. It's up and it is stuck, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just letting you know, it is up and it is stuck. So it's gonna get a little rough, man. It's gonna get a little rough. And listen, these prices you see are highly manipulated. So
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Bears are coming for you if you are still long in this market, in my opinion. Yet another opportunity for you to fade this rally. Trump keep giving it to you. X gonna give it to you. Did Trump say anything good? Absolutely not. Your voice crypto. It was a shit show. It was MTV. It was Mad TV, like someone said earlier. It was SNL. It was a comedy skit. Hit the like button, share this stream, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, don't forget to join the team. Bloodalytics.com, Scalpalytics Pro V2 out right now. Let's go, let's go. All good, bro. Just go back and watch the shit show of a conference that Trump put on. It went for about a good hour and some change, but it was good. Gotta go back and watch it, bro. It was absolutely hilarious. Nothing, no progress made. Nothing really disclosed that we didn't already know was a lie. And yeah. Again, Bloodalytics.com. It's not an indicator. It is a trading system. Know the difference. Join the difference. Bloodalytics.com. Link in the description below. I'm out of here, people. Holla.
Is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.